For our first fight of the evening, Lucy Wynne!
So, hello and welcome to the video. I'm here with Vanessa English. Vanessa, how you doing?
I'm alright, thank you, Dan.
Fantastic. We've got lots of exciting matches. Starting off with a couple of dark matches. We've got Lucy Wynne, 24 years old, originally from Stoke-on-Trent, but she's currently living down here in Southampton, training out of Next Generation Martial Arts.
And her opponent, Angelika Manrique!
And we have Angela, 41 years old, 3 years training, also a blue belt out of Manrique Martial Arts in Guildford. This is going to be an interesting one. We've got a yoga instructor in Angela versus a very, very flexible Lucy Wynne. So I think a lot of limbs are going to be all over the place.
It's going to be an exciting one.
And here we go, the first ever Enyo grappling match. And immediately Lucy looking to push the pace a little bit, got a foot trip there and not looking to engage on the ground, which is quite interesting. It almost looks like she's trying to get that snap down, maybe for a guillotine. Straight footlock attempt here, and they're getting into a little leg lock battle early. There's a deep straight footlock from Angela.
Into the closed guard.
Yeah, into the closed guard here, and like I said, Lucy has super long limbs and is insanely flexible. So you end up in some positions that you just don't think are humanly possible against most people. It's very strange. So just trying the pressure from the closed guard position here. I think Angela still has a hold of that left leg. So possibly, yeah, she's still got that wrapped up. So from the closed guard position, I mean, you have like the Chow Terra leg lock where you can throw that left leg. Angela could throw her left leg on the outside there to try and force that. But
it's going to be hard to do anything from this position, you know. Lucy's really got that.
Yeah, she's got that can opener. And you want to be using that to open up the legs there and looking to pass the guard. But the leg's open and Angela's back onto a footlock here. And Lucy having to turn out of it and just, I mean, that foot is free now. Kind of getting this out now. I mean, we promised some strange positions, and we're already into a pretty weird one, right?
It's pretty weird.
So Angela's still fighting on that leg, and Lucy getting a bite, possibly of a heel hook position of her own if she wanted to. Angela back onto these legs now. And then Lucy trying to guillotine from inside this leg lock position. Another straight footlock attempt, and I think really what Lucy needs to be doing now, you know, you can see the game plan from Angela. She's really getting in on those straight footlock attempts, and I think if Lucy can clear this leg, she needs to try and disengage and re-engage in a more favorable position, because right now it's all submission attempts from Angela.
That will definitely go in her favor with the judges' decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. So the judges are looking for, and possibly switching into a heel hook here. Lucy needs to be careful.
Just slipped off. It can be really difficult to get that inside heel hook with girls and their small feet.
Yeah, I mean that position is on tight, but the foot pops out, and Lucy really needs to try and drive that left leg backwards, and she's going to try and physically unlock this leg position. But Angela once again on the heel, and I mean, you know, Angela's going to have to put some serious torque on these legs to get Lucy to tap, because she does have the incredible flexibility. But you've got to wonder how far that kind of, you know, how much movement that gives you inside a position like a heel hook. Right now, the submission attempts are all in favor of Angela. We're 3 minutes in so far, so there's still plenty of time to work. But yeah, certainly in the scorecards, I mean, maybe 5 pretty deep. I mean, it's really hard when it actually comes to the judging. You know, like we said, we're judging based on deep submission attempts, but when you're in this leg lock position, you can just grab and kind of put pressure, and it's hard to see exactly how deep the position is. But Lucy almost got that leg out here, and I think if she's able to get that leg out, she's got to try and free this position. Much better position now. She's got to be careful about that leg coming back over and being back into that leg lock position, and Angela straight back into it.
I almost thought Lucy was going to get to the mount there. She could have popped that knee, just got into this mount, but straight back into this leg fight.
Yeah, Lucy looking to try and fight into a straight ankle lock position of her own, but right now it's one-way traffic for Angela. So Angela looks like she's going to take top position now, and I think if Lucy can get back to a guard position, then that's going to be much more in her wheelhouse at this point, I think.
Looks like there's going to be some nice pressure passing here, though.
Yeah, so this looks like, I mean, because of the incredible flexibility that Lucy has, it's hard to actually work out the position, but this is a wrong side half guard position. So it looks like you're in a half guard because your legs are wrapped around the leg, but there's actually no guard. And as you see, Angela passes into side and then directly into mount, and this is a bad position for Lucy to be in. A nice hip bump there, explosion into the closed guard.
Out of the safety area, though, so the fight is going to be brought back.
Yeah, I wonder where the restart's going to come here. Yeah, inside the closed guard, I think that's right. Yep.
Sounds like it.
So I think if Lucy can open the legs here, really she needs to be looking to get to a top dominant position. Like we've seen a few times, almost getting to the mount, but just engaging in this leg lock battle, and it just seems that Angela seems to have the advantage there. She's got to be careful of a hip bump sweep here. And there it goes, hand on the floor. Possible guillotine attempt.
Yeah, working for the
It's
guillotine.
coming high, but
that head really turned.
yeah.
She got her in a kind of whizzer position here.
Yeah, Lucy seems to have a shoulder control on this, which you wouldn't usually look to do from inside the closed guard. It kind of gives up your arms a little bit too much. So, you know, especially if you're standing up, you can, and the hips are really high. A quick change of the hips and an arm bar could be right there. So, you know, generally you're not looking to. I mean, body lock passing from the closed guard, it's going to be different. What is it that the name of the pass where you body lock and throw the hips to the side?
Pass.
No, it's another.
No.
Is it Tozy? I don't know. I'm not great. I'm not great with these names and stuff. I just call it that sweep.
That's sweet. Oh, a sweep.
No.
Pass.
Not even the right thing. Yeah, guard pass.
She could reach over to the leg, but Lucy's just put it down again.
Yeah, this single shoulder control is really great if you're got someone in your guard, but from inside of their guard, I don't see many options from there. Struggling to open the guard is Lucy Wynne. Standing position tends to be. She's got to watch that arm bar as well.
And she's obviously struggling with the confidence to actually stand up and really commit to opening that guard.
Yeah.
She needs to be careful here as well, because Angela could just knock her arm over
Yep.
and she'll be exposing her back.
It looks like Angela's trying to kind of connect the hands and bring the elbow across center line, maybe for an arm bar. It really looks like she's been, there you go, what you said, almost to the back there, but she throws up her head and arm instead, and Lucy answering the phone to try and defend here, and that just creates a little bit of space. You can see Lucy's other hand just trying to work those fingers in front of the neck just to create some space, and you can believe that Angela's really going for the finish in this position. Neglects it, and for a second, like you said, trying to get round to the back.
Not quite.
Shoulder pressure from inside a closed guard there. I mean, realistically, you've got to be thinking Lucy needs a submission at this point, and you're probably not going to be getting it from inside the closed guard. So I think, you know, she is struggling with the closed guard of Angela.
We do have 2 minutes 20 left, though.
I mean, there is time to work. Anything can happen.
There is time. The fight's not over until the fight's over. Dan.
Absolutely. You're not wrong there, Vanessa. So another strong position potentially for Angela to go for a hip bump sweep. When you have someone sitting that far backwards and their weight is in that direction, you can take advantage. But I think Angela knows that she, you know, is really significantly up on the judges' scorecard so far, and not really looking to take any risks. I think she's quite happy to play out this match inside the closed guard.
Still trying to search for that arm. She's breaking the grips really nicely there, which is really stopping Lucy from getting that posture and maintaining that posture.
And the closed guard is a really difficult position to pass in no-gi, isn't it? I mean, even the gi, the way that most people pass the closed guard is by standing, and when you take off those lapels, you take off that gi top, you takes away your ability to pull your opponent as you stand. which makes it very, very difficult. I always say that people do not get caught in close guard because it can be, if you're stuck in someone's close guard, it can be almost impossible to try and escape.
Absolutely. It's old school, but it works. Still, we've got 52 seconds left of the match. Nice, nice encouragement from the audience there, weren't you?
Always good, always good.
40 seconds left of the match. Still in this close guard position here. Still hunting for that arm.
And I think what it looks like is Lucy's just trying the pressure on the upper body, on the neck, and just force Angela to desperately open those legs and then take advantage of it. But she's, you know, looking very, very comfortable in that close guard.
Yeah.
Finally throwing that leg over to attack a heel hook, possibly. A last-ditch effort, but I don't think there's going to be much movement here at all.
She's still got her legs very locked. And that's time.
There we go, and you know, really, I'd say a match of two halves there. The first half, Angela working a lot of leg locks and trying to work that heel hook, but not able to quite do it. And then we had that second half, I think we can see at that beginning. So this was about, I think, maybe 3 or 4 minutes even of many straight foot lock and heel hook attempts. We saw almost a mount take from Lucy there, but lots of heel hooks. We'll take it down for a decision now.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your winner by judges' decision is Angela Manrique. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome onto the mat, Wayman!
So we've got Lily here, 25 years old, blue belt, flying out of Aspire Combat Sports Academy, combat base in Liverpool, and she also trains a lot of MMA, and she's looking to make her amateur debut as well. So bear that in mind, probably a very MMA-based style.
Excellent. I like the walkout tune as well.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
Excellent.
And her opponent, Robyn Lucas!
Robyn Lucas, 30 years old, just a year and 10 months training. Blue belt, flying out of Southern Quarterly. And Louise Finochio, it's a beautiful gym, about an hour from here in Salisbury. And yeah, pretty, you know, had a
Here we go.
So it's going to be interesting to see if, you know, what we're expecting from Lily really with that MMA background is, well, that MMA training, the big difference in styles, I think especially early on, is the emphasis on wrestling. I mean, we are seeing grapplers, you know, jiu-jitsu athletes train more wrestling, whereas, you know, 5-10 years ago it was seen as, you know, something that you don't really include in your training, and you'd be expecting them to pull guard. And you know, even right now already, Robyn not looking to pull guard at all and happy to engage in some of the grip fight and standing up.
Looks like Lily's trying to get round to the back there.
Yeah, almost there. Underhook and an arm drag from Robyn. Just jostling for position here, and she's nice. She's stepping in. Very long legs here, definitely the longer of the two athletes, and trying to get those legs on the outside, maybe snap down, and there we go.
Shot in.
Beautifully done into a clinch there and straight jumping onto the back. Lily trying to get to top position here, and there's always that moment where you're kind of fighting between to try and get on top. Robyn in a nice position here, looking to hit this knee through guard pass. That top side, that left leg knee shield from Lily is kind of the main thing that's blocking that.
Lily also has a nice hook there with the right leg underneath.
Yeah, so lots of pressure on that far side from Robyn Lucas. She needs to try and fight through that right hand for a deep underhook on the far side, I think, if she can flatten her opponent out. But Lily doing a really good job of keeping that left leg as a knee shield and stopping that pressure from being put on. I mean, speaking of pressure, look at that left hand on the face, just pushing down. Sometimes you've got to make it a little bit of a nasty little fight there, you know, get in their head.
Or get on their head.
Get in their head or on their head, yeah, exactly.
And she's getting on her head.
Yep.
There we go.
So Lily doing a good job of utilising this knee shield. I think really what I'd be looking to do from here is possibly try and get into a butterfly guard position. If I can turn that left leg, that knee shield into a butterfly guard, or, you know, possibly even a deep half position from here. If we look at the right arm of Lily, she could try and get into a deep half position and sweep from there. But right now, really, the pressure is coming from Robyn, and Lily just working defensively. But so far, very good guard retention.
They're both back up.
Back up to the feet, yeah.
As you were saying, I imagine Lily does want to be on top with being in an MMA background.
Yeah, would you? Yeah, absolutely. Certainly wants to be on top. And I think standing up out of the guard position is something, again, that's very MMA. In grappling, you would never look to disengage to stand.
Absolutely
but
not.
in MMA, that's something that you're going to do quite a lot. And it can be smart, especially if you think that you have the advantage in the stand-up grappling. Maybe Lily didn't think that Robyn was going to have as much as she does have for her in terms of the wrestling. Again, very heavy on this collar tie.
It'll be interesting to see if there are any submission attempts.
Yeah, so really, really good point. Again, we're looking for those submission attempts. So far we haven't had any. So right now, no doubt that Robyn is winning on the scorecards for sort of positional control and aggressiveness, but one submission attempt will trump that. And it does, you know, we'll talk about this lots tonight, I'm sure, but that rule, that judging criteria really changes the game plan.
It does, yeah. It is very different from, say, you know, your IBJJF tournament, or
you know, even other grappling shows such as Polaris, where you're judging it as an overall, and you consider the submission attempts highly, and you also consider transitions. In this, you know, the submission attempts are really considered above all else. Guard pull here. This is interesting now. We've been thinking that maybe Lily wants to fight on top. Perhaps we're going to see that, but instead she looks to stand, and Robyn electing to stand up into that guard. And, you know, from here you could open the legs quickly and switch into a body lock takedown, possibly.
Lily did really well at just bringing her hips back, bringing her arms into play, and not allowing her to get that takedown.
So we're creeping up on halfway through this match. So far, 0 submission attempts from either girl, but definitely the aggression and so far all the positive transitions made by Robyn.
They are definitely both searching for that position before submission, I'd say.
Yeah. And you know, these matches are long. The 10 minutes is a long match, especially for, you know, these girls are blue belts. If they're competing in normal grappling tournaments, you know, you're looking at 5 or 6 minute matches. So 10 minutes is double what a lot of these people will be used to competing in. But then you only have to fight once, which is...
I mean, in MMA, what is it, like however many rounds of
MMA,
so
well, I think amateur MMA, which is what Lily will be going into, I believe is 3 3-minute rounds.
Okay.
So it's kind of even less time than this, and obviously you've got those breaks in between. So it's a very different energy system that you've got to go, and different level of intensity. Robyn's still really heavy with these collar ties, and Lily's just not been able to get on the inside of Robyn at all so far. We haven't seen any shots. She's still trying to jostle for position with the upper body, and Robyn getting the advantage in the stand-up and even in the gripping here. Right now, however, Lily's got a good clinch position here. I mean, she must be thinking, I wish I could throw some knees right now. I mean, you can't throw knees in amateur MMA, but I bet she's still thinking that.
So we've got 3 minutes 50 left at the match. No submission attempts. But positionally, who would you give it to, Dan?
Oh, I've got to say Robyn so far. She's the only person who you know, really it's based on that takedown and close to a guard pass, in the first minute of the fight.
Yeah.
So, oh, nice snap down here. She goes for the throw. But
straight into the audience.
having to grab those sponsors' banners there. And that's what we've been seeing from Robyn, is trying to take control with that upper body and then using those long legs to try and trip. I believe that's how, oh no, she was going for that early and then managed to get to the back, and that's how she got that early takedown. 3 minutes left in this match. And you've got to think at this point, I mean, what do you do at this point if you're Lily?
If I was Lily, I mean, I would probably be pulling guard by this point and trying to come underneath, get underneath the center of gravity, and at least going for a footlock of some sort, you know.
And maybe that's part of the strategy. And you've got to think, some people just don't put that much emphasis on strategy, and especially, you know, these girls have been training under 2 years, really, both blue belts, and a lot of the time they're just thinking, you know, I'm just going to go out there and do whatever feels right. And you have some people who train for 6 months, do a tournament, and they're up the night before with a board trying to work out all of the most efficient strategies. So if there is a strategy here, it could well be wait until the last minute and then just go for a takedown. Go for a submission.
Something crazy.
Go for something crazy. I think so far, I mean, we've been standing up for maybe 5 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Lily able to find sort of any weakness in the positioning or the angles from Robyn. So I really do think at this point, you know, a minute, 2 minutes left, think about the guard pull, and that's of course if she doesn't get taken down.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's
jumping guard pull here.
Straight over to mount. That did not look nice on the knee.
Yeah, that leg looked.
She's straight up.
Yep. I mean, ready to go.
Mount. Yeah.
I mean, fair play. If I was Lily, I'd probably be contesting that was off the mat when it happened, but seemed very happy to take that inside the closed guard. Okay, I'll take that if they're happy for it. And the long legs of Robyn Lucas, able to lock a body triangle around her back, and there are very few people who are able to do this. But what this tells me, the interesting thing about this position, what this body lock position from closed guard tells me actually is no submission attempts.
Yeah, there's not going to be much movement.
It's like a lockdown from a half guard. You know, you have some ways that you can taut the leg and use deep half guard, but a position like this, you are not. There's almost no submissions that you can do.
No, you can't get that movement on the hips at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you think about, you know, almost all of the main, you know, the big three in terms of submissions from closed guard, arm bars, triangles, omoplatas, they all require the legs to be very much part of the action.
Exactly.
Of course, you know, Robyn could be looking to get some control on the upper body and then maybe open those legs out, but I think she knows she's done enough early on to take this on the judges' scorecard. Oh, here's an armbar attempt. 15 seconds left, and I think this will secure it, if anything, maybe switch into a triangle, into a leg lock here.
She's going to the last second. 5. Not quite, but I think that's definitely swayed the decision towards Robyn. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be very surprised otherwise. Really one-way traffic in this match. A lot of, I mean, we had that takedown early. We had that attempted guard pass. We're going to have a look at some of these. This was the early takedown. Really nicely done. Tries to trip from here and then falls backwards, tries to take the back, and Lily's able to do a fantastic job here, turning into the guard. And then we had a long period in the middle of just jostling for position in the clinch. Finally, towards the end, sort of a couple of minutes or a minute and a half to go, we ended up with Robyn on her back inside closed guard, and we saw the first couple of submission attempts of the match.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your winner by decision, Robyn!